We are live. Okay.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hello to any future watchers of this. Hello. One of those etiquette that you
Yeah.
do that. So there we go.
Sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. All right. So this is the first official live show of this book club
Yeah.
because we only had a
Thanks.
sprint last time.
Yep.
So
Thanks for
yeah,
hosting, Jackie.
you're welcome. Thanks. Thanks for making me the guinea pig. I will ride that Mayflower. You fucking pilgrim.
You volunteered.
All right. So I don't have any prompts. We're just gonna go with it as the flow, and then just kind of see where the party takes us. Sound cool? Hello, Mariah.
Hi, Mariah.
Hello. Okay. Okay. So we'll start with the first one, which is Lament. So when we were reading it on the sprints last time, no one had really anything positive to say within the first 30 pages. I think most of us got to it. So since then, how are you feeling? Your thoughts, your reactions? How are we going? Which way are we going with this book?
I gave it 2 stars, I think. Well, I originally gave it 2.5. And then after listening to you and Kehlani and Laura talk about it, I was like, you know what? I think this isn't quite deserving of 2.5. So I dropped it down to a 2. All I could really think that I liked about it was the Salem location and the history of Salem witches, what was included. That's pretty much all I liked about it. Everything else, I thought the characters were really stupid. And I felt like the villainous guy at the end, he was kind of a caricature. I can't say that word. Anyway, he was a overly dramatic villain. So I did not enjoy it, but I did push through it. So I guess that's saying something.
Mariah DNF'd it at 20%.
My sister.
Damn, not even a quarter way through.
Hey, I don't blame you, Mariah. I don't blame you.
Nope.
Yeah, not at all. I would have DNF'd it too.
And I was reading the ebook, so.
I ended up finishing it, but I didn't. I probably rated it a 3-star, but I would go down lower. I'm a high rater, so if I finished it and I got one thing out of it, I rated at a 3. But definitely not my favorite.
You're generous.
Laura, what was your feelings?
I gave it 1 star.
Okay.
So
it was rough.
it was rough. I just felt like the way characters interacted with each other was so awkward.
Right.
And the main character, Sky with an E, was just so dumb. She was just so dumb. No, I couldn't. And I would have DNF'd it had it not been the book club pick.
Girl, feel free to DNF these.
Well, I was hoping that it would be worth it a little bit in the end, and I was so wrong. It was not.
I feel bad because you bought it.
I know.
Hey, I bought it too. I bought all 3 of the fuckers. So.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, I bought all 3 of them. I think I ended up giving it a 2-star, and so okay. This is how when I rate, I immediately rate something. As soon as I'm done reading it, what I'm feeling at that moment, that's what it gets rated. And then as I start doing my breakdown, that's when the rating will change. So if you watch my Goodreads, I might rate something high and then drop it down later. And that's because I've done the breakdown at that point. I'm like, that's not good enough. Or this is better. I'll change it. So that's usually my gut reaction. So my gut reaction at the end was a 3 because I liked that she tried at the end to do something cool. Really thought that was cool. I was like, okay, we're doing some weird pentagram level layer of bloody gore. Awesome. Are you gonna fuck a goat? Because that's what I was expecting in this book. I was waiting for a goat. I don't know why. I just pictured somehow a goat getting screwed. I don't know why. I just kept seeing that in my head. I don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. But at the end, when it did this thing, I was like, all right, well, it sort of salvaged it. And then I was breaking it down. I'm like, nope, character was stupid. Relationships were kind of stupid. And this woman relied way too much on the fact that Salem was a real place and all these things existed. And if you didn't know that, or you've never been there, she was relying too much on the fact that people know what the Salem witch trials are and give a shit about it.
Mhm.
And it didn't work. I'm like, you can't do historical fiction like that and expect people to know all that history. Yeah, it's popular history, but not everybody knows the nitty gritties of like Doris Good and Dorcas Good and all them. You know, they just don't.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like the author just didn't know what to do, like what genre they wanted to be.
Right?
And I was like, these scenes don't make sense. They're coming out of nowhere, especially like romantic scenes. I was like, wait, this is where we're going? It like hit you in the face.
Those stupid kiss scenes. All of a sudden I hate your guts and then I'm kissing you. I'm like, okay, I know hate to love does. And
But you usually feel some sort of chemistry, you know?
Yeah.
And this was just like
and there was none.
Suspense, and then bam, romance.
Yeah. Shirtless guy, I'm gonna kiss you and I'm gonna bring you to my house and then I'm gonna fucking hate your guts. And I'm going to assume that you had something to do with my death of my mother 30 years ago, even though you're not even 30 fucking years old. I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. How did you get your job? How did you get your job?
She was an idiot too. Like, she had no common sense.
No, she didn't.
It was like, if you think that there's even a possibility that someone was drugging you, why do you continue to try and befriend them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
She tried to do some subversive action to try to keep it away from the son and pin it on the mom for a long time. She was doing really good at that. I almost believed her. I'm like, okay, she's not going to go to the son. She's not. And she went directly to the son. I'm like, and called it. Fuck.
I honestly didn't call who the bad guy was, but when it got revealed, I wasn't at all surprised by it.
Yeah.
Like, and his just like, you know, he had to have his monologue and shit. And I was just like, this guy just seems way too animated. And it just doesn't feel like it makes sense. So
yeah, it was hard.
It did not.
His motivations didn't make sense either. I was like, what? Like, what is happening?
What'd you say, Tara? I interrupted you.
You're good. I said his motivations. Like, there was nothing within his character that I was like, why does it matter? Like, what?
I'm being compared to you my entire life, even though you haven't used your powers literally your entire life, and I have. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
So that was a dud.
It was. And you know what the sad part is? The second book and the third book follow different couples. So this couple I don't even know if we see again. But yeah, the next couple we've met one party of it. I'm pretty sure the next book is about the blue-eyed guy.
So are you actually considering reading the other two books?
Maybe drunk. Maybe. If I'm really bored and I have nothing to read, or I need another witchy book just to fill something, because they are really short. Like, all of them are this short. So, like, for like a readathon or something, I need like a witch thing. Sure.
Okay.
I own them. So
I will not be.
Yeah, I will let you know. I will let you know the carnage that it is.
I've read some weird shit lately, but I don't want to force myself through that.
I don't know. Maybe she can turn around. Authors do crazy things sometimes. I don't want to say no, you suck, but if she does what she did in this one with the historical aspect, that's gonna piss me off to be like, no, I'm not reading it again. Don't take the history for granted that we all know, and also don't assume that everybody knows this shit. You have to give the context of this world, and she gave none. None. There's none. Just drop in a pail.
Well, I hope since she spent money on them, you know.
Yeah. They weren't expensive. They were like only $4. So
they were $4?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if they were on sale when I bought them, but they were pretty cheap.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
So yeah, that was a hard one.
Yeah. I don't think anybody enjoyed it.
No. I think it would have been cool if a goat had gotten screwed or something, or I think that actually would have saved the book, but it didn't. I don't know why. I just saw a goat for some reason.
It started promising.
It did.
Like that first scene of the human sacrifice, that was pretty promising,
right? Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Then it just went downhill.
Shit. Oh, and the fucking prison. What? What?
The what?
Really? The prison where they found the fucking dagger. In the prison, and the sheriff's ancestor was the guy trying to free the innocent witches. I'm just like, okay, so you're trying to tell me that the witches were actually real. That's cool. That's an awesome concept. But you're telling me in a tourist attraction that is a museum curator, they wouldn't have found that fucking thing? No. Magical realism is a thing, but still, come on. It's like
I don't even remember that part, Jackie.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
It's been 2 months. I'm lucky I remember what I do of this.
It has been a while for that book, and it wasn't really worthwhile to remember. I just remember that thing pissed me off because I was very angry. I'm like, "There's no fun. Like, please don't tell me the dagger's here. Really, the dagger. I hate it." So, okay.
How about we talk about the book that we actually did like?
Yeah. How about we talk about this one? So, One for My Enemy. Yeah, so what do you guys think?
I loved it.
All right,
I gave
what was
it
your
5
rating?
stars.
5 stars?
Probably going to be one of my favorites of the year.
Nice.
Like, look at these tabs.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so Laura, without spoiling, favorite character, favorite scene, and did the ending meet your expectations?
Okay, favorite character. I'm gonna have to say Maria.
The daughter Maria, not or Baba Yaga.
Yeah, not Baba Yaga, the daughter.
Okay. We need to specify that if you have not read this book, Maria has the same name as her mother. So Baba Yaga, when we talk about the mom, and Maria as the daughter.
Yeah.
So
Maria Masha, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Masha
Maria.
Yeah.
She was definitely my favorite, although I really loved Lev as well. Favorite scene. Oh my goodness. The ending, I will say the ending did not disappoint. I was with a Romeo and Juliet inspired story or retelling, you expect the ending to be a certain amount of tragic, and I think it definitely delivered on that part, while also giving like a really sweet ending as well. I don't know what my favorite scene is. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. Tara, same question. What questions?
So I ended up going with a 4-star, just because I go by off feelings. And I think the ending was fine. I expected, like I said, something with, like you said, Laura, with Romeo and Juliet. You kind of knew. I liked the twist of it, of like the couples. And so I enjoyed that aspect. I don't know. I really liked Lev. And then I did like Masha because I just liked her motivations behind everything. Like, and she was always, like I said, looking out for her family. And I just liked her too. I don't know. My favorite scene, I can't think of right now. I think they were all pretty good.
All right, Becky.
Favorite character was the bridge. What was his name?
I knew you'd fucking like him. Like all this. I was like, Becky's gonna love this fucking dude.
I did. I loved him. He was my favorite. What was his name? Banyan?
Brynmore.
Brynmore.
That's how I pronounced it.
I don't know. The bridge. He was my favorite just because he was so snarky and sarcastic, and he was like using people for his own advantages, and he just didn't seem like he was taking it too seriously. My favorite scene. Trying to remember one that stood out to me. Pretty much any of them where the bridge was. Just like he's there and he's pretending to be on somebody's side, and then somebody's standing right behind him and he's just being so like sarcastic and like pretending like he doesn't know that Sasha is behind him, pretending to be a ghost or whatever.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's
probably my favorite because he's like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you okay? Are you high, man?" I love
Breakdown
that.
over here.
Yeah. And the ending, I did not see the ending coming because I thought it was gonna go a different way. Like I had a feeling with Romeo and Juliet retelling, that it was going to end somewhat like that, but I had two totally different characters and the way it would end in mind. And so the way it ended surprised me. And I enjoyed it.
There you go.
I gave it 4 stars.
I gave it's a 3.5, 4-star for me. It's kind of right there. My favorite character was probably the Bridge. I liked him. But I wanted him to get his. I wanted him to I wanted something bigger with him. That was a big disappointment for me because he was a focal point for everything. He had hands
really was.
in everything. And I'm like, motherfucker, if you don't get some fucking bullshit going on here, hopefully
I would love a book about him.
Yeah, I would love it. And the epilogue is about him, which I thought was dope. So I'm like, is she going to give us something? Like, there was some big twist over and above all of us we didn't even know about, because that's what I was expecting from the epilogue. But my favorite scene, though, was actually Lev and Sasha's meet cute. I love that. I love their banter. I love that he's like, oh, hell. And he fucking does it. I'm like, yes. 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 I love that. That was adorable, because it was kind of a knight in shining armor moment, but at the same time, it was, I don't give a fuck about you kind of moment. I'm really into you. And also kind of like a fated destiny sort of thing to them. I liked the way that scene was played out and laid out. I really enjoyed that. It was probably my favorite. And the ending. So you guys all mentioned Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it's also hints
It's
at
also
Othello.
Koshai. Yeah, it's
and
from
Hamlet.
Koshai the Deathless. I learned that.
Yeah, it hints at Othello and Hamlet. So the ending I had nowhere seeing coming. I'm like, okay, I got Romeo and Juliet. I've got some Othello in here. I got Hamlet, 3 of his biggest tragedies. Which way is he going to go? And he didn't take a single route that I thought until that last scene. I was like, oh, that's how you go with this one. I keep saying he, it's a she. Sorry. I really enjoyed the ending because it didn't give me what I wanted. It didn't give me what I expected. And it did play to the strengths of all 3 of those Shakespearean plays and their tragic endings. It hinted at all 3 of them, just like
See, I didn't even pick out the Shakespeare reference of Othello and all that. The only Shakespeare plays that I have ever read were A Midsummer Night Dream and Romeo and Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. So I didn't pick up on anything else other than Romeo and Juliet. And then when I was like wondering about the Russian folklore, I Googled it and found out that it came from the death of Koshai the Deathless.
Yeah.
Which is a Russian thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting because a lot of the characters mentioned are also in that folklore.
Mm-hmm. So
I learned something from it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that aspect with the Russian tie-ins. I thought that was really cool because I know that story. I remember reading it in some literature course or something. But I knew that name, Koshai the Deathless. I was like, I know this name. How do I know this name? I had to look it up.
Well, I knew Baba Yaga.
Well, I knew that one too.
Nothing else really sparked.
Oh.
Really, I was like, if Baba Yaga is a thing, I wonder what else is a thing, So I had to do some Google searching.
Well, the Othello reference is really more with Roman, the jealousy aspect of Dmitri and the trying to always one-up the older brother and to be noticed by the father, which also ties into the Hamlet tale. And the Hamlet is where that big tragic ending happens. Because if you know Hamlet, without spoiling with telling you the ending of Hamlet, I will spoil the end of this book. So I can't. But just understand that it's a tragedy for a fucking reason. Okay? It's a tragedy for a reason. But I loved the tie-ins that she used. I really, really enjoyed it. You could tell she did her research with that element. And it was awesome. Because I like Shakespeare, so...
See, and I don't.
We'll see. That's the thing. Romeo and Juliet is literally my least favorite Shakespearean play. Want to know why? Because it's not a tragedy. It's a horrible thing. It's about 2 teenagers offing themselves, okay? That's what it is. Straight up. It's about 2 teenagers committing suicide.
Well, that is tragic.
Which is a tragedy.
It is. But it's also a stupid tragedy. It's like, these people are stupid that you let seriously, they're 13 and 12 in the play. Like,
Yeah.
come the fuck on, man.
I mean, I've never liked it because I thought it was stupid.
But what I liked that she did is she spun the Romeo and Juliet, because we only get Romeo and Juliet and the ending, they're dead. Okay, so they're done. They're over, story ended. But their families are still feuding. This did not bring a peace to their families. It was no peace brought to them. So I love the fact that she carried it on, and what would actually happen with, if they actually did come and say like, hey, we need a peace, be like, no, fuck you. You've raised us our entire lives to not like these people, to fight for our own, defend our family. I love that's the angle that she went with. And I was like, yes, that's a fucking tragedy right there, because they died for no fucking reason. Absolutely none. Because
Pretty much,
bitches are crazy. Yeah, I loved it.
Well, and when I started reading it, I was expecting the original, like the Romeo and Juliet couple. Like I didn't expect there to be so many Romeo and Juliet couples,
Yes. Yeah.
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So out of the Romeo and Juliet couples, which one did you prefer? Which romance did you prefer?
Lev and Sasha. Absolutely.
I am probably gonna go. Is it Dimitri and Masha?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason is because I felt like their parents played a role within their separation, but they still like held a flame for each other for so long. And then obviously with everything that happened, I don't know, it just was like that slow burn aspect of it. I mean, we kind of got it, but like you got their history. So
Yeah.
I liked that aspect of it. But
They were my favorites.
Lev and Sasha were cute too.
Yeah. They were
Like,
cute. I just felt like they felt a little too instantaneous for me, whereas
I agree.
Masha and what was his name?
Dimitri.
Those two had more of a backstory, and so I got to like see their relationship and where it came from and stemmed from, and so I could understand their motivations a little bit more. But Sasha and Lev were still cute.
I like Sasha and Lev. They were cute, but I agree with you on Becky on the Insta. That's why I mentioned they had like almost that Destiny sort of faded feel, and they jumped into it really fast. Like he was her world within 2 weeks, but she didn't really give a good timeline of this book, because for a while you think it's like days, and then you learn later on it's actually kind of like months going on in between these things. So I think if she would have cleared up that timeline a little bit better, it wouldn't have felt as insta with Lev and Sasha in the beginning. But Masha and Dimitri, that was awesome. That was fucking dope. I love that. I love the language she used with it. I thought it was a nice modernization of Shakespearean love. Your love will be the death of me kind of. Oh, I fucking ate it up. Oh my God, I loved it. I was like, yay. Yay,
I thought her relationship with her husband was really cute too. Like the one who died. Spoiler. I thought that was cute because she respected her relationship with him enough not to fuck around on him, even though she knew she wasn't like totally gonna love him in the same sense.
That is true.
Yeah.
He kind of messed some things up for a little bit there, though. At the end, when what happened with her happened, and he kind of went off the rails for a minute.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I liked them together. It was cute and it served a purpose. But you could tell in the beginning, even with the romance, the way she wrote it, it was, this is a romance of convenience. This is something that I need. I am not in this. My heart isn't. She wrote her character to be like that already, which I really enjoyed, because then it wasn't fake and he respected it. But at the end, when Baba Yaga was like, she never loved you. Yes, she did. Dude, you know for a fact that bitch did not love you. You know it. You did it. You said it in your little monologue.
I think she loved him to an extent. And I think she even mentioned that. Like, she loved him, but just not to the extent that she loved what's his name. I think she loved him as sort of like a companion, like a friend, maybe. Somebody who she knew would be there to have her back. And
I think she was strategic and manipulative enough.
But she didn't love him in that sense of like true destined love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't die for you kind of love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I
let you
don't.
die for me.
Their romance, when Baba Yaga told him like she never loved you, and he went off the rails, I'm like, dude, you know she didn't. You said it in your thing. This girl is not for me. She's not for me. Just let me have her while I can. Let me know what it feels like. She was playing you and she used you. Straight up. That bitch was in it for herself. She was a family girl. She always loved Dima, and that's the end of it. Well, like, just he could have gone away and I didn't care. So when what happened to him, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, good riddance.
I
Now
was
they can go
kinda
do their thing
sad.
now.
I liked him. I was sad. I was like, oh no, he died. But it was like, oh, that devastating. But it did affect me. Okay.
She wrote him to be a nobody. Her
Yeah,
description guy was literally a guy had no.
Well, he was somebody to me, Jackie.
Well, I'm sorry.
Might have been nobody to you and nobody to her, but she was somebody to me.
It was just like she even wrote him to have no drive and no like fire or
He was
anything.
a
So like it was
fraud
almost
fool
surprising
for
when he
her.
went off the rails. I was like, holy shit, he went off the rails. But now I just show you're actually insane. You believed your own bullshit 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, I kind of felt she meant to write him that way, though. Like, is that this all-consuming love with Dimitri that she had, like, kind of broke her for a while, and then she met him, and he was safe, and he was
totally
safe
agree.
for a while versus, you know, what she felt for Dimitri or Dima.
He felt like filler.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Hey,
On point.
sometimes we are fillers in people's lives. Okay,
Oh
it
my
doesn't
God.
make them not important.
I have been a filler bitch before. I am fully aware
I've
that
been
they
a
exist.
filler. Okay.
Okay. I've been a
Doesn't
foster
mean that they didn't love
girlfriend.
me in the moment.
Okay.
That's why I connected to him. We are fillers.
You are kindred spirits.
Okay. So, least favorite character that was a main character. We're not talking about the husband because we already know how I felt about him.
Is it going to be the same for everybody?
I don't know. Let's find out. Becky, you're up first.
Least
favorite character.
Favorite character.
For any reason.
The father. I did not like the father. I hated him.
Oh.
I was
Now
really hoping that he would
Got his.
die. Like they would kill him. I wanted him dead. I hated him. He used his sons. He pitted them against each other. He didn't give a fuck about any of them other than Dima.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't like him. I could see Roman's like intentions and how he felt, but his father, I just couldn't. I hated that bastard.
All right. Laura?
I'm gonna say Roman. It's not that I don't like him. I think he was a very complex, interesting character. But if we're talking about main characters, I think he was my least favorite. Him or Ivan. Ivan, I could really give or take. I found it interesting that Ivan was also in love with Maria like everyone else. But yeah.
They should be collecting men like fucking Skittles.
She did. She was awesome.
Yeah. Taste the rainbow over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would go with Roman too. Like, I got his motivations. I understood that. But I was like, dude, you keep messing up. Like, you learn nothing. You're not listening to, like, what your brother's saying or anything. Like, so, I don't know. I'm going with Roman. But I do see why, Becky, you would hate the dad. Because he really is. Both the parents really are. I think Baba Yaga's a little bit better than Koshé, but I mean, both of them are pitted against, like, put their kids against each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Eric. Eric is my least favorite character.
Oh, Eric.
Which was Eric? I can't remember.
I just thought every scene with him was fucking annoying.
Now
And the
Eric-
fact that him and Lev became friends, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh, that
No.
guy.
No.
Yeah.
He reminded me of what's the fucking guy's name from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Spicoli. He reminded me of that fucking dude. I hate him in that movie too. Okay? I just don't like him. I don't like him. He's a pompous twat, and I can't fucking stand him. I can't. Every scene, I was like, when Lex did what his thing was, I was like,
I didn't even consider him a main character because I
Me
forgot
neither.
who
Yeah, I
the
barely
hell he
considered him
was.
either.
He was. I felt that he was a main character because he was a pawn in the drug scheme. He was being used. He was a dealer.
Yeah.
He was being pitted with Sasha and being used to manipulate because he got a backstory. Anybody that she gave a backstory to, I considered like a main character because of the way she was
he
telling
was
the
just
story.
forgettable to me. I totally forgot who that was.
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out who you were talking about.
I didn't like him. I just thought he was annoying and
I
pompous.
didn't like him either.
I
Now
think
that
she
you
could have
mentioned it,
given.
I thought he was stupid and
I think she could have
pointless.
given that role. She could have made something bigger with that role. So it's like, if she was gonna go that route, make it big. Like, he reminded me. I don't know if you guys ever saw the show Sopranos. Did you guys ever see the Sopranos show?
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. There was a character. His name was Jackie or Jack. I call him Jackie, and he was pitted to be a major contender in like the first 2 seasons. And because he was a shitty actor and he didn't do well, they offed him. But he was like the heir apparent to literally the mafia boss. He was his son. But he was kind of like Eric. I was born into this. This is my title. This is how I deal with it. Blah, 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 blah. And Eric was just a silver spoon in the mouth brat, and I couldn't fucking stand him. I was annoyed and I hated him and I didn't like him. And I was like, you could have made this part so much cooler, so much more dynamic, and it just kind of fell. Like, he was a crucial pin to their whole drug scheme. He was literally the part that got them into the colleges. And I'm like,
I agree with that.
you just failed on that with me. But I like, Tara, you mentioned Baba Yaga and how she may be better. Do you guys agree that she is better than Koschei, or is she just as bad in her own right? Because she did the exact same thing, just in different forms.
I think I had a little bit more sympathy for her just because she was like, I guess because she was a woman. But she seemed like she cared a little bit more about her kids, except for the middle ones. We never learned anything about.
I mean, did she
really? I don't really know because I didn't get to know any, like, her dynamic with any of her other 5 kids other than Maria and Sasha.
I feel it was a miss in this book for sure.
So I feel like I liked her a little bit better, but overall, she was probably just as bad in the grand scheme of things. I was honestly waiting for her to die too.
I feel like her heart might have been there, but her motivations going about it was wrong because she obviously was married to a man who just didn't notice anything about her, like how smart and quick-witted she was. She was just kind of pushed to the side. And then when he died, she built this, this whole thing. And then she felt like he wanted to take it from her by offering like marriage. And then she was like, no, this is mine. I've built this. And like, so I think a little bit, she's like, I built this for me and my girls. And then, but she went off the rails somewhere within that. Yeah. That's how I see it. But
I see that too. Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I think that's where my sympathies for her come in.
I think that she had better intentions. I think they both had good intentions. But I definitely sympathize more with Baba Yaga than Koschei. I feel like Koschei was honestly underutilized in this book. He was not, like, he should have been given such a bigger role, such a bigger dynamic. And like from the beginning when we first met him, I just felt like he was almost insignificant already. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't this high-powered Koschei the Deathless compared to Baba Yaga. Do you know what I mean? She's running this empire. Like, she was
doing more as the front man than he was. Like, his sons were pretty much doing.
I completely agree.
It felt like he gave up, like, so early on. He just gave up.
That was a point against this book for me. Like, it's one of my items that doesn't work is she didn't utilize her characters the right way. I feel like she could have utilized them better. Eric was one. Koschei was another one.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that. 100%.
Mm-hmm. But understanding where Baba Yaga, like, came from, like you were saying, Tara, being in that marriage and having to put up with her husband for all those years and then finally getting out of that, I think that she had good intentions and she did the best. She tried to do the best with what she had for her children, for her daughters. So I was able to sympathize with her more. But yeah, Cochet was just like so underutilized, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted more from the sisters too, because once you learn a little bit about the ones in between, like you get glimpses of some really cool stuff that they can do. And I'm like, wow, we didn't utilize that enough.
Yeah, totally agree.
I would like to hear or like learn more about it. That was pretty, I don't know. That was an interesting aspect, all of their abilities.
Yeah.
I loved all their abilities. I wish I could have learned more about each one of them.
Yeah.
Especially the
seems like
twins.
Each just got like
Yeah.
a chapter.
Yeah.
It's like, here's their chapter. And then we're done with them.
I personally thought, I agree with Laura that Cochet was underutilized. But the schemes of what's being worse, I think was Baba Yaga. I think she was worse because she was sneaky about it. Cochet was
So
straight
does
up
that make
honest.
her worse, or does it make her better?
No, I think it makes her worse because she was trying to hide the fact that she played favorites. She favored the oldest and the youngest, and that's why we didn't really see a lot of relationships with the others. And it wasn't until we got to the chapter about the gala, the one that's like a magnifier, that I started seeing it. She's like, because she says they all have secrets, but I never get to have a secret. And it's like, I have one secret. Holy crap. The girl's like in her 20s and she has one secret with her mom, and the rest of them have everything. And we never even talked to the one chick that has dreams until the very end. And she gets like a paragraph.
Yeah.
She got a fucking paragraph. I was like, did you just forget and have to throw her in there?
I think so.
Yeah, but I
It's
think
like, well,
Baba
when
Yaga,
you got 7 kids, sometimes
some
of them just get pushed to the wayside.
The reason I like Cochet better than Baba Yaga is because from the get-go, it was Dimitri. That was his heir. That was his main son. The rest of them were just kind of backup. And Lev was a baby. So he became protective of him after Dimitri stood up to him and said, this is your son. I will help take care of him and protect him, but I will not raise him and mother him. He has a father. You need to be his father. It wasn't until that dynamic changed with Cochet and Dimitri that Roma even started realizing, oh shit, I'm a fucking peon in this whole fucking
He's
situation.
the middle child.
Yeah, he's definitely demonstrated middle child syndrome throughout this entire book. Like that was straight up honest. Like, there was none of like confusion on that. But Baba Yaga in her chapter when she had Masha, she says they were going to name her Katarina, the other twins' names. They were going to name her one of those. And she's like, no, this is mine. This one's mine. And she never let go of that. The entire the book, that was my Masha. That was mine. When Dima came in, you're mine. You need to step away. And she made her daughter step away because she didn't want to marry the fucker. And all she had to do was say, hey, how about you two get married and then we join forces? Because you already fucking love each other. No one thought about this fucking idea.
No.
Nobody thought about just getting them fucking married. Did anybody see that? Because if I read it, I must have missed it because I did not see that line anywhere saying, why don't we just join the families and have these two marry? And then both empires work together. They could have been unstoppable. And no. Because these two bastards over here are like, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. And then you find out that Cochet actually liked the bitch. Cochet, I can't say Yoshi. Yeah. You actually find out later that he likes her and he noticed her. And he realized that his friend was being a dipshit and didn't acknowledge her and her power. And he complimented her. And she's like, I know what you're doing. Stay away. Bitch, he just acknowledged the fact that he sees you. I mean, you're complaining about, fuck you. No, you're done. No.
It's like if they
never understood each other though.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. They just needed to be like, oh, okay, you're not interested.
Yeah.
Go do your thing. But no, it's like, oh, how dare you?
Right.
Now we're enemies for life.
And so you can't see your daughter anymore.
Way too much pride.
Yeah.
For unwarranted pride, in my opinion. Because, like, what have you done, dude?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do anything. It was all his sons.
Exactly.
I think that makes it Shakespearean, the frustration that happens in tragedies, just communicate in so many issues. Exactly. But then we wouldn't have a book and we wouldn't have a Shakespearean tragedy. You could rip your heart out and be like, oh my God, the stupidity and the drama. To be or not to be tragic.
Yeah.
I agree. 100%, Mariah. 100%.
I did feel like this book could have been shorter. I feel like a lot of it was just, I said this in my vlog that I posted today. It felt very repetitive because they were just like, oh, we're going to retaliate, and then we're going to retaliate, and then we're going to retaliate, and then we're going to retaliate. And that was what was moving the story forward until about the end when things actually started happening. So I feel like a few of those retaliation scenes could have been taken out and the story still would have been what it was, you know?
I feel like yes and no, because here's the yes. Because they started getting repetitive, they did. And we started getting repeats of scenes. There were a few scenes where she literally repeated what had happened. There's 3 of them, to be precise, that she did. But they're far enough away apart that I guess it's okay. I guess. I noticed them. But no.
Well, I probably did too. And that was what I was like,
yeah, you're like repeating. But no at the same time, because that level of twists and turns with the revenge element, because there was nobody in this book except for the middle daughters, and really the twins are kind of iffy, that did not have some kind of stake in some kind of revenge plot in this story. Everybody had something, some vendetta against the other. Baba Yaga to Koschei, Baba Yaga to Dima, Koschei to Dima, Dima to Koschei, Dima to Roma, Roma to Lev, Lev to Dima. They all had some kind of thing overlapping, and I don't think if you would have condensed it, A, it would have made sense. B, you would have had that level of intrigue at the end that you had, that heightened, like, where are we going to go with this? So I think the length actually works for it, but she didn't need to repeat as much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought it could have been longer.
Okay, there you go. Why do you think it needed to be longer?
I just, like I mentioned about Koschei, I feel like he could have been built. I feel like just some of the character work, some characters could have been built up more. We could have spent more time getting to know some of the sisters that we never got to know. Things like that.
A little bit more from Bryn Mawr.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like if you
You
took
can't
out
hold
those
it above.
repetitive scenes and included more get to know the character scenes, I would have liked that much.
I agree with
Which
that.
is what kept it from getting that 5-star for me. Is it's like some things could have been changed.
Okay, since we're talking about the structure of the book, I had a question. And I really want to know your guys' opinions on this and how you felt. Now, who physically read this book? Okay. Did you read it on a Kindle or a physical book?
I
Physical
read
book.
it ebook.
Ebook. Okay, so I don't know if the ebook has this. I hope they do.
Illustrations.
The what?
Illustrations.
No. The act pages. Did it have those?
Oh.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. I loved that. I loved the play format and non-play more format of this story. I thought it appealed to this story and its level of drama so much, because you had, like Act 1, Madness Most Discreet. It's just a bunch of random shit thrown at you, and it's crazy. So, like, it gave you some kind of, like, heads up of where you are in the play, if this was turned into a play. And I love that. I thought it was great. I wanted to know what you guys thought of that element, because I'm always a big fan of, like, different elements in books, like different aesthetic things that the authors choose.
I didn't like that.
You didn't?
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't. I was like, why do I need to know this? I'm like, can't you just get into the story? Why do I need to know, like, the setup of the scene you're in? Here's my local drug dealing ice cream man, if you can hear him.
I love you said drug dealing ice cream man.
It is
It's 8:40.
almost 9 o'clock. No kids are out there getting ice cream.
Something's happening.
Maybe you live there.
Anyhow,
Maybe it's an adult beverage one.
They should invent
he's
those.
selling something that ain't ice cream.
They should invent those. Just saying. $1 million idea.
Anyway, what was I saying before he interrupted?
You didn't like it.
Yeah, I just didn't like it because I was like, why do I need to know the setup of this scene? Like, just put me. You're in the house. I didn't like it. Of course, I'm not a very play person. Like, I don't enjoy watching plays. I don't enjoy watching musicals. So I think that's why I didn't like it. But it wasn't like enough for me to like hate it. I just didn't like it.
What about you, Laura?
I loved it. Just for the element itself, because I feel like it worked so well with what she was trying. It just set like the scene, and it set the tone of the entire book for me. Like, I just loved it.
I agree, 100%.
I listened
Tara?
to the audio and I didn't mind it. I kind of liked how it set up everything. I was like expecting it as, you know, it went on. I liked that aspect. And I liked it too because it was the Romeo and Juliet, and I knew Romeo and Juliet was play. So like I kind of liked that tie-in as well.
No, you listened to the audiobook. How's the audiobook for it?
I liked the audiobook. It was actually surprisingly, because I thought there were going to be so many characters. It was easy to follow still.
Was it
even on the
dual
audio.
cast or single cast?
It was dual.
Oh, okay.
Like at the same time, or they each get their own chapter?
Each get their own chapter.
Okay.
So male and female.
Cool.
Interesting.
Nice. I didn't.
But you didn't
know
get
the
to
number.
see the pictures though doing that, did you?
No.
The illustrations.
No, so now I'm gonna have to go to the library.
Speaking of illustrations, okay, so in the book you have your end page. This is the Antonova.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then you have
Pretty.
the guy's family. Okay, but some of these ones, like after each act is when they showed an image,
Mm-hmm.
and some of these make no fucking sense. Like this one, this scene never happens in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
never
think
saw
I
this.
remember thinking that. Like some of them I was just like, I don't know how that correlates, but it's pretty image.
Was the picture made before it was edited?
Had to have been. I don't know.
Oh,
I
that
was
could
like,
be.
when I saw that, I was like, ooh, because that's the Dimitri character. Any other time you've seen like a Dimitri picture, that's Dimitri. I'm like, you could his eyes gouged out. Fuck yes. I was like, oh, we are totally going off of this. We're going to some like seriously best fit at this point. No. Thought I was going to get a 4 Shakespearean play in there, but I didn't.
And y'all just got the regular versions off Amazon, right?
Yep, I just bought this one off of Amazon.
Laura,
I
is
got
that-
the Barnes and Noble exclusive.
Oh, you got the Barnes. What's different about that one?
It has a short story, Love Language, and it's a Lev and Sasha story.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
It's really cute. It's just sweet. It's just really sweet.
Well, now I gotta go buy that. Damn it.
Is the cover different?
It's black instead of
Oh, it's
white.
the black one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have the white one.
But it
personally
still
like
has
the
like
white.
the end papers.
Are the
Yeah.
end papers still the same? Yeah.
Gotcha. Is there anything under the dust jacket?
No, it's just plain.
Okay.
Is
I
it like
personally
the
like the
signed
white.
edition, the Barnes and Noble signed edition, or is it just the exclusive?
It's just the exclusive. It's not the signed,
Hmm.
but it has that. And then it had a sneak peek of. Does yours have a sneak peek of Masters of Death?
Yes, I have that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to read that book. Like, I was like,
Yeah, I'm
This is my
interested in
first-
that one too.
yeah, this
I've heard
is
good
anybody
things about
else's first read of this author?
That was your
What was
first
that?
read?
Is it anybody else's first read of this author?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So for the people who've read it before, is this better or worse than what you've read?
So I tried to read the Atlas 6 and I could not get into that. I DNF'd that one. And
And
it
that's
just,
the one she just recently released. Well, she released a
yeah,
sequel
that's
to it,
like
I
a
think.
whole trilogy. I think Laura
Yeah.
actually enjoys that one. But this one I really got into. So I'm willing to give her another shot, and that Master of Death seems like one that would appeal to me. I know I've heard really like bad things about Alone with You in the Ether. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
skip that one.
That
But
one
I
actually
do-
intrigues me. Like, I kind of am intrigued by that one.
I've heard it's very pretentious. That's what people say.
People say that
Well,
about
she
the
wrote a
Atlas
pretentious
6,
character,
too.
so it's fine.
Eh. So I feel like if they say that about the Atlas 6 and they say that about that, and since I didn't like the Atlas 6, I probably wouldn't like that.
That makes sense.
But
Yeah.
I definitely want to, because that one has vampires, right? The next
Master
one,
of
Master of
Whatever
Death.
it is.
Yeah,
I
that one
didn't
has
read that
vampires.
thing. I just was like, I like the title, so I want to read it.
Yeah, no, I think it's vampires.
I think it's
Masters
a
of Death.
vampire real estate agent trying to sell
Oh,
a
yeah,
haunted
yeah.
house. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Nice.
I was debating which edition because I was like, oh, I liked this enough that like I don't think I would buy it, but I'd put it on a wish list and see if somebody else would buy it for me. But I was like debating which one to get.
Well, the Ether is
I
more
kind of like the white one
between unstable people. So I wonder if that's her version of Wuthering Heights. It could be.
It could be.
I'll be. If I'm right, I'm gonna shit a brick.
I've never heard anybody mention that.
And the Ether?
Yeah, I've never heard anybody mention that.
I've never heard of it mentioned either until I read this book, and then I started looking at some of her other books, and that one kind of intrigued me.
Yeah. I don't know, you might like it. But I'm willing to give her a second shot.
I am, definitely. I wanted to read Atlas 6. It's on my TBR, but I just never gotten around to doing it, and I don't own it. But every time I pass in Barnes, I'm like, I kind of want to read that. That looks pretty cool. And so, like, I was really excited to read this one because I was like, okay, I'll give you some. It'll give me a reason to read her, and then if I like it, I'll officially go pick up the book because the scenario of Atlas 6 seemed really cool, but it wasn't something like this is what I want right now. But I feel like I will want it later.
But you loved it, didn't you, Laura?
I loved it. It's very character driven.
Ooh, good.
Very character driven and a lot of like philosophical discussions.
I think I didn't like it because the characters just felt like whiny, rich. Like, I know that they weren't rich. I know not all of them were rich, but they just felt like whiny, rich college students to me. And that's why I didn't like it.
Okay, so I have a question. I've been asking questions because this is what I like to do.
Yeah, you have a question? Really?
I have a question. Yeah. Okay, so we all like Bryn Mawr, right? The lawyer?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who's disappointed that nobody in this fucking fucked up world picked up that he was playing both sides and called him out on his shit?
I didn't even pay much attention, to be quite honest.
This was a huge miss for me because these people are like, they're so smart, so calculating, so manipulative. I'm like, this guy literally ramrodded this entire fucking family both times over. And you're acting like nothing, but you're going to go off each other when if you just fucked with this dude right here, half your problems be fucking over. Like, they would just be done. Like, who?
Like everyone kept running to him, but at the same time, they so very much underestimated him.
That's
like
true.
all of them did.
Yes.
And he was just like sitting back, enjoying all of it. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
He was
the worst thing that happened to him was the freaking kidney. And he got the benefit of it. Like, he had to go through some pain. Like, damn. Now I have witchy witchcraft. Like,
what was the thing at the end that his mother gave him?
I think that's a lead up to another book.
I had questions about that. I'm like, what did she give him?
Because, like, okay, so the very last line of the
book... It was
book,
a potion of some kind, but what was it supposed to do?
I don't know, but it wasn't
very clear.
I don't feel bad reading this because it's an epilogue. He drinks this brandy that she gave him that she makes. But she gave it to him under the pretense of giving it to his dad, who's a politician. So is it a poison because she wants the guy to die so he can be with her because she misses him? Like, I don't know. So I don't know if he just drank his own poison.
Is maybe he's immune to it now that he has, like, the liver?
I don't know. But, like, the way I took it at the end of the book, I was like, did he just drink his own poison? Because the very
That's what I got from it.
Yeah, because the very, very last line of this book is tendrils of sun would creep over the edges of his desk well before he moved again. So either he just went to sleep and the sun came up, which could imply he just went to sleep, but she gave that stuff to him under pretense to give to his dad.
Yeah.
Who she kept asking, is he dead yet? Is he dead yet? Bitch, is he with you? No, he's not dead yet.
Like, I thought she gave it to him to give to Roman. Because she was asking how they were doing, and he was talking about Roman working for him.
Okay, I was getting that confused. Yeah, because Roman was still working, but he already turned his letter. And what the fuck happened to that guy?
I don't know. Like, I can't remember who she intended it for, but all I remember thinking is, like, so what happened? Like, he drank it. What happened?
I'm wondering if that's like a setup for another book. because it
Well,
could
that's
be.
what I was thinking. I was like, okay, so I really liked his character, and that epilogue sort of gave me the illusion that maybe she had like a story in the works for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she had something to work with there. But I was like, what happened? Because I was thinking, okay, so he has the ability to go into the afterworld, and if he drinks it, he can just dies, goes to the afterlife, and then obviously he can go back.
Wasn't there like mention though that like there were multiple, not like afterlives or multiple something that he could jump in and out of because he was dead?
Yeah.
So maybe it has something to deal with that. I don't know.
I don't know.
I would like
Sure.
another story for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even a novella or something. I mean, he was an interesting character.
Yeah.
I would like to see something else happen to him, though.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see like more of his backstory of like
Yeah.
where he,
Yeah.
like his childhood almost, and see like how he became the conniving, sarcastic trickster that he was.
Yeah.
I was waiting for, seriously, honestly, I was waiting for some. There were 3 twists that I was waiting for that I didn't get, so I don't feel a problem saying it. So one, Sasha was actually Masha's daughter. I was waiting for that one.
Oh.
Somehow
Oh,
that was going to come to, I don't know. They're witches. I don't fucking know, but I was waiting for that one because she was so protective of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, this is some soap opera level twist. This is some Macbethian Shakespearean twist here. Make her his daughter. That's fine, cool, whatever. Second twist was that Bryn Mawr was somehow related to the Fedorovs. Like, he was only half fairy and his dad was Crochet. That I just saw something with that. I don't know why it didn't happen, but I felt like something was going to happen with that.
Well, that
And
would
the
have
third-
been interesting.
Huh?
That would have
It
been
would have been.
interesting.
And then the third one was that Bryn Mawr in that epilogue revealed some big, huge thing that he literally manufactured all of this like way before, and they were everybody, like we all kind of knew they were chess pieces on the board, but it was confirmed that he was the mastermind puppet master of this whole fucking scenario. But it
That would have been
didn't
fun.
have that one. So I was like, okay, so the traditional Shakespearean twist that I was expecting didn't get, so I appreciated that. But I wanted something more with him. Like he was he was utilized, but his story was not done. It was not finalized. It was not resolved. So I don't know if she's gonna write another book. She should.
I mean, she should, because I want to read it.
Yeah, and Baba Yaga's still fucking alive, doing her shit.
And that's the thing. I was
so
waiting for those. I was waiting for them both to just kill their
die.
parents. Yeah, like
Yeah,
kill them both.
they're still
And
doing
then I was
drugs.
waiting for. Who else was I waiting? Oh, they were the people who I thought would die at the end. Like I thought it would be some sort of Romeo and Juliet thing where like, you know, he was in love with her and she really didn't love him back, but they both died together, so they were together. But that didn't go how it went.
No, the ending though. The ending. Okay. All right. So that's how we're gonna do it. That's the big Romeo and Juliet moment. I was like,
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Why is it always the chick that gets the violence? Every fucking Romeo and Juliet retelling. Every single one of them. She dies in a painful, fucking hard way. Like, yeah, man. Why does the girl always gotta get the fucking dad?
I was not expecting them to be the ones, though. I thought maybe Lev and Sasha, like, if it wasn't the parents, I was expecting it to be Lev and Sasha. I was not expecting. I don't even care about spoilers at this point.
Yeah.
If you're watching this video.
Spoiler warnings at this point. Yeah.
But, so it surprised me that it went Dima and Masha. Never her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise. I liked it though.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah,
I thought it was kind of sweet how they ended up together in the
I know. Oh, I cried. I cried when he when he walked by and saw them under the tree. I'm like, oh,
that was cute.
They get their happy ever after.
You're like, finally, they don't have to deal with their family's bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Death is a sweet, sweet release.
Yeah.
And then the sister was like, she's not coming back this time to the mom. I was like, oh, now you're sad about it. Your one baby.
Yeah. Now, she does have a book. Ollie Blake has a little book called, hold on, let me get the right title, because it's poignant for this. Get the right title. Got a little singing thing going on here.
Regale us, Jackie. Regale us.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like she has more books coming out other than the other one.
Are they like a reprint? I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe.
These are.
Right?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. Because if you look at the original cover for this book, I saw it and I was like, that is a shit cover. It's just this girl under like a street lamp, and it really doesn't give any sense of what this story would be about.
Yeah. That's what comes up when I log it in Goodreads, is that cover.
Yeah. Does that not give you...
Okay.
I have
So
no
there
idea.
is...
I wouldn't read it.
There is a book that... So this book was originally released in 2019, January of 2019.
Really? That recent?
Yeah, January 30th of 2019 was originally published. And in October 31st of 2019, she published another book called La Petite Mort, which in French is A Little Death.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, you know, what they call an orgasm. But she says La Petite Mort in this. It's just a little death when Baba Yaga takes Sasha. So I'm wondering if there may be some kind of tie.
Oh. Well,
Yeah, so I'm planning on picking up that one.
I do
actually.
have that book. I haven't read it yet, though.
Yeah, I plan on picking
You
up
have
that
it
one next
physically?
for her to see if there's a tie from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also got Russian names.
You'll have to tell. Maybe it's... what's his name? Is it What's His Name's Story? Do I need... Please be
No.
What's His Name's Story.
This one is set in the New Orleans French Quarter, but I'm wondering if maybe it's about a vampire.
Laura. True. That
Yeah.
sounds like something you would like.
It's a novella.
Yeah.
How many pages novella?
218.
That's
It was originally
not
published
fun.
in a Witchy Way magazine. It is a love letter to the vampire culture that's healthy and active in Crescent City.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Do you
Sounds
own
like-
that physically, Laura?
I do.
yeah, I plan on picking that one up. Kind of looks kind of good.
You'll have to let us know if that's worth reading.
Yeah.
And if it's connected to this story.
I personally love when authors have a bunch of standalones, but they're all interconnected. I think that's fucking cool as shit because they're not a
Yeah.
series, and they're all set in different like realms or things. Like they're not like you have your connective series where you have like the same world but just different couples in that world and kind of briefly connected.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. I love when authors have a book that's completely by itself and then like 3 books later reference this book in a completely different time frame, but they had one connecting character or they read about this story or this massacre or all of these deaths in a newspaper and it kind of brings it back. I love when authors do that. I love they throw those little Easter eggs in there. I think it's so
I love
much
that
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It gives us another layer to like the author themselves and kind of what was important to them, which you don't really know reading the books because you get an idea, but the things that they mention later on in other books, you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was an important thing for you. Let me go back and check that out and see if I missed something.
Yeah.
Maybe because I could see Burnmore fucking famous.
Brynmore.
I could totally see him coming up in other books because he reminded me so much of Saul from
Well, and he's able to travel
the
through
realms.
the different dimensions
Breaking
or
Bad.
worlds or realms. Or
Remember
whatever.
the lawyer
So,
from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Like that was the kind of lawyer he was. And I also thought he was the fact that he was profession as a lawyer was hilarious. That was funny in of itself.
I guess I didn't pick up on the fact that he was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Maybe I did and it slipped my mind. I don't know. You know I don't pay
He
much
mentions it.
attention to
He
those little
mentions it a
details.
couple times.
Yeah, he's constantly like, I have a job. Roma
no
walks in
idea.
on him with like a client, which I feel like if she does do another book, those clients are going to come back because they were sizing up Roma pretty bad in that one scene.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the coming back? That like nobody actually died? Was that confusing at first? Did it work
No.
for you? How'd you feel?
I always say this. I always feel like if authors kill a character that you become emotionally invested in, it packs more of a punch and it stays in your brain longer and it's more emotionally impactful. And I wish they would just leave them dead. And that's how I feel with Lev. I wish he would have just stayed dead.
No.
I kind of tend to
It's like
agree.
his death could have, he
his
wasn't
death
my
was
favorite character
completely-
by any means, but if he had
Yeah.
stayed dead, it would have been more emotionally impactful for Sasha. And
I feel like his
the whole
death was the
family.
most unnecessary one, and therefore it was the most hard. And as readers, I kind of agree with Becky. I'm like, I like their lore romance, but I kind of almost wish he would have stayed.
Yeah. Like, I don't love when my favorite characters are killed. Don't get me wrong. I don't like ask for it. I'm not like, oh, I pick up a book and think, oh, I hope they die. But if I become emotionally invested and they do die, they need to stay dead, because if you bring them back, it's just like, what was the point of playing with my feelings like that?
That's true.
Yeah.
I usually don't like when characters come back. I usually don't. But I like the way she did it in here because, first of all, when Maria died the first time, I was devastated because I already fell in love with her.
Yeah.
But then I think it was smart to have her come back and then thinking that she's going to be safe and then have her die at the end. It was a lot emotionally. But yeah, I usually don't like that, but I didn't mind it in this one.
I didn't mind her resurrection so much because I felt like it made sense
To the story.
Because he had taken the heart.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't actually dead. He'd already preserved her at that point, and we just didn't know that piece.
And like when she actually did, I wasn't expecting her to be the one to die because I thought, oh, she came back.
Yeah.
She got her piece of herself back. And then it's like, nope.
Okay, so that was the thing that kind of irritated me about the ending. Not that it was her that died. It was, she was so in control, so calculating, so manipulative the entirety of this book. She was a step ahead of everybody except for when Roma got the upper hand on her because of Dima. Okay, which I kind of understood because she always said, you're going to be the death of me. You're going to be the death of me. She was off guard, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But at the very end, when he comes in and stops her from doing what she needs to do, the reasoning behind it, she's saying, you were going to do this to me anyway. You had to do this. She played on the fact that he was going to offer that he would choose his dad over her, that the vengeance for his dad would blind him to kill her. And I call bullshit. She knew what this guy would do the entire of this book, and now she's going to say he's going to do something completely different than what he's proven time and time again. And she almost went a little like snap, like she kind of went like the crazy psycho insane, like, no, you need to do this. You need to do this. You have to do this. No, he doesn't fucking have to do this. We can just take our shit and walk the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
We can walk away. But like,
I do agree that I think she kind of lost it in the end. She kind of came a little bit unhinged.
Yes.
Just a little
That's
bit.
what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like her whole plan literally, like, she looked like she was surprised he showed up early. Like, you expected him to show up.
I think she was just so angry after hearing her mom with Cochet that she just kind of lost it.
I mean, wouldn't you, after being raised your entire life to hate this family, and all of a sudden, like, now you're gonna do peace and you've killed my sister and so many people have died and I gave up my love for you. I chose you. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I'd be pissed too. course,
I'd
I
be
would have
like,
taken it out on my
let's
mother.
just go by ourselves into the sunset. Forget about this family drama.
But at
Which
the
I
same
guess
time,
in the sense they did.
she still
Yeah.
chose her mom. She was never gonna rat on her mom.
Yeah.
And that's why Dima went. But she ended up ratting on her mom because she wrote a letter. The letter still got to them, to the Burrows. So I'm just like,
But as herself, she
Yeah.
made herself Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. They said the line, she penned the name the first and last time only. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Mhm.
So, but like, you reneged on your deal, so is your love really true? Really? Or is Dima the one that's always been kind of your cuckold? Because I feel like it is. Thanks.
Mhm. But I liked it.
Yes.
I did
I'll
too.
read for
I
her
did.
again.
Definitely. I would read her again.
I had some issues with it, but overall I liked it.
I could do without having the same names.
What are you doing?
Oh, speaking of the names, you know how we were talking on live how Kaylani mentioned her name was Angelina or Angelica or whatever? Sasha's name was Angelica or something like that. And we were like, she's never been called that. Did y'all notice at the very end Lev called her that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice
It came
that.
up one time at the end. Lev finally called her something, Angelica. And I'm like, what the fuck was the point of even putting that in there?
Yeah.
I
This
wonder
whole
if it's
story,
just like
she's
the
never been called
folklore.
Angelina or Angelica or whatever. And then that one time he calls her that, I'm like, what? I noticed that.
They all have way too many names.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But I think that stems from like the Russian
Mhm.
Yeah.
like influences of people having like different names.
I love how Baba Yaga never got called out for burning her husband. No one never did shit to her about it. She poisoned her husband.
No one cared about him.
Yeah. And Koshay's just like, nope, can't help you, dude. Even though I know what's going on.
It's like, eh.
Like, that sealed it right there. Like, come on.
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't rat on you.
Yeah. I liked the Romeo and Juliet telling with witch gangsters. That's what this is. This is Sopranos with witches and a Romeo and Juliet tale. That's
Yeah.
exactly what this book is right there.
No, I really liked that. As much as I don't like Romeo and Juliet, you know, I liked how it wove
the
the
spin on it.
witches in there.
A spin on it was good.
The
It
gangster
wasn't traditional.
stuff. I wish I would have seen how like their magic affected other people. Because we really didn't get to see that a whole lot, if at all. Like, what did their drugs actually do to people?
Oh, non-magic people?
Like,
The only
why?
one we got to see was was it Eric?
Yeah.
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 And
But,
he's a
and
dude.
like, what did their like? Okay, so they had that cream or whatever that made Sasha look like a ghost or whatever.
Mhm.
But I wish we would have seen like what the people who were buying their products, like how did it affect them,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
and
That would become a
expanded
nice
on
layer.
that. Because as much as I liked their magic, God, I keep dropping shit, and I liked seeing all the magic and how it worked, but it was very like wishy-washy at times, and I was just like, how does that affect things? But
I love that it was at a limited supply. Like, they couldn't regenerate it. Because like Roma was running out,
yeah,
but he gave a vial of blood and your body regenerates blood. So apparently it regenerates the blood value, but not the magic content in it. Like, I thought that was kind of unique, that there was a finite amount that they had.
But if he got a blood transfusion,
Would it affect him?
would it bring his magic back?
I don't know.
Because like that's what the bridge he had to consume a
He had
body
the
part with
the
blood in
kidney
it,
put
right?
in him. Yeah.
At the end of the book, it does mention that he was starting to get his power back.
Mhm.
I was regenerate really fucking slowly then.
So did he just have to rest and recuperate?
Maybe.
It just takes time.
Yeah, I guess.
So I feel like the magic was a little loosey goosey, but I still enjoyed what I got from it.
That scene though with putting the kidney in, oh, I loved Masha in that one. She's like, be quiet, I'm making a deal. And she's like literally shoving her hand and her nails into his back. I was like, oh, bitch after my own heart. I fucking love that. I would love to see that in a movie. That scene was great because I can picture her doing that. It's just this quite like, be quiet, I'm making a deal.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, yes. That was great.
Yeah. I feel like you could see like the intricacies of her potentially like doing it with her magic. I don't know. That's how I pictured it in my brain.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing that bugged me is that regarding the magic and how inconsistent it was, like Dima, when he figures out what's going on and he leaves, he rushes off to go find her. These witches are literally bending reality around themselves and popping in and out wherever they want to. Why couldn't he do that? Like, why did it take him so long to get to Bryn's office in that scene when he could have just popped in with his magic?
And I didn't even know they could do that for a while until one of them did it. And I'm just thinking, oh, they can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The time you learn to do that is when Lev and Sasha hook up for the first time. The day she finds out her sister's been off, because that's what you want to do is go have sex. The day you find out your big sister has just been murdered. That pissed me off. And then it was a fade to black. I was like, motherfucker.
It was so
I'm like, you gave me this buildup, and then you gave me this really cool scene, and then you gave me this line like, I want to write a novel, but we might not have time for it. I loved that whole play on words with writing a book. I love her story. Oh, I ate that up. I thought that was great. Oh, I loved that element to it. I loved it. But he's like, okay, so we're going here, and then it's gonna be like this hate sex thing, and then we see nothing. And I'm like,
it didn't bother me.
But she'll show me this guy throwing a mace thing at his sister and literally ripping her innards out. Show me that.
I feel like as much as this book was, like, you could tell the romance was the driving motivation of the characters, you didn't actually see a lot of romance within the book.
We saw a lot of cutesy stuff with Lev and Sasha, though, in the store, like the cutesy.
Yeah.
Just not like
all their banter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is a romance, even though romance is the driving motivation of the
But we didn't really see, even with Dima and Masha, with the history, we're told a lot about it, but we don't actually see romantic moments between them. Oh, bye, Tammy. Thanks for joining us.
Night. Love you. That's my sister.
Oh, okay. Like we didn't really see any of like those moments, and I agree. They should have been more in there to validate it, and that is why I thought this book was YA, and apparently I was wrong.
See, I never got a YA because the characters are all adults. So.
I got YA out of this so bad.
No, did not.
Yeah, because every sex scene was fade to black, and they like skirted around them.
Well, that doesn't necessarily make it a YA.
Yeah,
just because it's a fade to black.
Yeah,
every
you
single
can have
one of
adult
them.
romances with fade to black, Jackie. Just because you don't read
them. I don't.
I've read many of.
Apparently, I've read one now. Although when Dima goes down on her, I knew where he was placed, and I'm like, "Can you just show me this?" Nope. No, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't want to see that at all. It's cool. Oh, by the way, how weird is it he carries her heart around his neck? I know he used like a shrink. He had to use like a shrinking enchantment.
It's like in a vial.
Yeah. Because I'm like a human heart is about this, right? It's about like what?
Size of your fist, isn't it?
Yeah, your size of your fist. Okay, like you had to shrink that. I love that he carried it around his neck. That's just not
vial.
That's some Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking.
I'm like vial of your blood and stuff. I'm like,
yeah. And she can literally feel it like beating against her body when they're touching one another. She's like, I feel it.
The telltale heart, some Edgar Allan Poe shit thrown in there too. Like, let's bring it down. Every single tragedy I ever read in high school, right here.
Oh my God, that's what I need her to do. Write some Edgar Allan Poe. I love that.
That would, she'd probably do it justice. She'd probably do it really well.
Yeah.
Telltale Heart.
I mean, maybe that was
Maybe
a
there was
little bit of influence in here as well. Who
maybe.
knows?
Yeah.
Could have
I don't know.
been.
I really enjoyed this. I liked her lyrically writing. It would be fire, Mariah. It would be. Let me post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But I love this. I loved her lyrical writing. Like, I loved when she got into the lyrical format, like when Masha. See, man, don't make them similar either. Like, damn. Like when she said, if I ever, die, take my heart, bury it, keep it safe. And then like all this just like lyrical, I was sitting there, I was reading, I'm like, I really wish I highlighted in books. Like, I really wish I did. I might go back and like tab some of the lines I really liked in this because some of them were just, you can see the influence and she did it right. And she did it well. Yes.
I liked that. And I'm not somebody who typically likes like flowery writing. I don't think this was overly done.
No.
I think it was just a good level.
Yeah. And she did it where it mattered.
Yeah.
She didn't use it just
exactly. She didn't like over metaphor the shit out of this story.
Yeah.
Like some things I've read. Like you don't need to describe something so off balance,
Yeah.
I feel like she really wrote it and she really did it where it mattered, like you said, Jackie.
Yeah. I think she did a really good job. I'm excited to pick up some more of her. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see her take it. Did anybody feel sorry for Roma at all in this book? Because he kind of gets villainized a lot, but did anybody feel like he just kind of got the wrong end of the stick? Like he never had a
I
chance?
felt a tiny little bit of sympathy for him. Tiny.
I honestly got annoyed with him. I was like, okay, like
I was happy
the first time,
when he
okay,
gets his comeuppance, though.
yeah.
But does he really? He gets haunted for a while and then he's just left alone.
Well, I liked that though. I was loving watching him go insane.
That was cool.
I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
That was definitely a Hamlet. No, that might have been a little bit Macbeth because the father haunts Macbeth. That might be I think that might be a Macbeth reference. Hamlet or Macbeth, I can never fucking remember. A bunch of parents die in all of his plays anyway.
Not unless.
We're going to Julius Stone where kids fucking die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. My English teacher would be so upset with me that I can't remember that reference. She's probably secretly watching this somehow, figured out how to like not show up and be like, Becky, you should know better than this. We did a whole semester on Macbeth. I know. Damn it. Yeah. No, I felt
you felt?
sorry.
This made you feel?
I was reading a comment. I don't know what this I don't know what that word means.
I am.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. Oh, there. I'm starting to learn how to practice white magic. I'm born into Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. You practice some Wiccan stuff, Laura, right?
Yeah, witchcraft, not Wiccan, but yeah.
Oh. What is the difference?
Wicca is a religion, basically. Witchcraft is a path. It's less to do with religion or a set of rules. You can practice witchcraft in your own way, your own choosing. And Wicca is more formal rules and, religion.
So the witchcraft that you saw in this book, does any of it look like it's something you've seen in your practicings before? Is like
No, because it's purely fantastical in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. I like learning about that too.
Yeah.
I went through like a phase of learning about different religions and shit like that. It still interests me though.
Me too. Religions fascinate me.
Yeah. I really liked learning about Wicca, though. It was interesting. I've always liked witches, though, so.
We can
Anything
tell.
to do with witches.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Anything to do with witches, I've always been like fascinated with. So not surprising.
You made a whole book club, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we figured.
I had the shirt made already.
Oh, you did?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So when do we all get our
I
shirt?
made myself a shirt that says Black Hat Book Oven on it. And I was like, oh, I want a booktube book club. I'm like, I got the shirt already.
So we should all get a shirt sent to us for Christmas then, right?
Let's just think. I would have to pull out my Cricut and make them again.
There you go. Christmas presents. Okay, so the next book is what are we reading?
In September, we are reading The Witch Haven. Is that what it is? I love how I'm not sure. Like I'm not the person who thought of this. Yeah, The Witch Haven
Okay.
by Sasha Payton Smith.
The Witch.
Yes.
Let's see what that is.
Don't ask me what it's about.
That's what I'm
'cause
going
I
to look up
don't
right
know.
now.
I know it's a young adult historical.
Mm.
Which
All right, so it's the first one in a series. So we have that.
I think it's a duology at the moment. I don't think it's a series. Is it? Does it say it's a series?
Right now there's just two. So
Okay, that's what I thought.
but it isn't specified duology, but it's just two right now.
Yeah.
It's 442 pages if you get the hardcover edition.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so The Last Magician meets The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy in this atmospheric historical fantasy following a young woman who discovers she has magical powers and is thrust into a battle between witches and wizards. In 1911, New York City, 17-year-old Frances Hollowell spends her days as a seamstress, mourning the mysterious death of her brother months prior. Everything changes when she's attacked and a man ends up dead at her feet. Her scissors in his neck, and she can't explain how they got there. All right. Before she's condemned as a murderess, two cape-wearing nurses arrive to inform her she is deathly ill and ordered to report to Haxahaven Sanitarium. But Frances finds Haxahaven isn't a sanitarium at all. It's a school for witches. Within Haxahaven's glittering walls, Frances finds the sisterhood she craves, but the headmistress warns Frances that magic is dangerous. Frances has no interest in the small, safe magic of her school and is instead enchanted by Finn, a boy with magic himself who appears in her dreams and tells her he can teach her all she's been craving to learn, lessons that may bring her closer to discovering what truly happened to her brother. Frances's newfound powers attract the attention of the leader of the ancient order who yearns for magical control of Manhattan and who will stop at nothing to have Frances by his side. Frances must ultimately choose what matters more, justice for her murdered brother and her growing feelings for Finn, or the safety of her city and fellow witches. What price would she pay for power, and what if the truth is more terrible than she ever imagined?
Oh my God, telling you shit.
Yeah, and it's set in Manhattan again.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
it's two New York.
Two New York-based witchy ones.
Yeah, and then a Salem based one.
Salem bitch, yeah. Aren't we all just Salem bitches?
Sky with. I love how Laura mentioned it was like Sky with an E. Like,
Yes.
Sky with an E.
Because that pissed me off too. I don't know why.
Because it's dumb.
Um,
That sounds pretty good. It reminds me of a series I read a long time ago. What was it? It's a young adult. Crap. What was it called?
I don't know. I tend to like. I don't read young adult contemporary anymore, but I still enjoy reading young adult fantasy and young adult historicals because I feel like the characters in those always feel like they're older than they actually are.
Mm.
So
I wanted to say this was the title of the book, but it's not. This is not the book.
but didn't you
I
say
remember.
this was set at like a magic school or something, or like
Yeah.
that worries me because I do
This-
not like school settings. So
this
we'll see how I
reminds
get
me-
with that.
Of Lilla Bray's Gemma Doyle series, A Great and Terrible Beauty is the first one.
Oh, okay.
I read that series when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the synopsis kind of reminded me of.
I think I remember reading that first book. I can't remember a fucking thing about it, but
I remember liking the
reading
first book and the second book. I didn't read the third one.
I've only read The Diviners by her.
I've never.
Diviners was good.
Yeah.
And I am going to be listening to that on audio.
I
Because
just
it's available
got
on
it on Libby. So I have it.
I wish my library had a bigger catalog, but it doesn't. My library sucks, kind of. So.
Mine has been pretty good. The only one I didn't have is The Witch's Lament.
Well, there's no wonder.
I regret
There's
no wonder.
it.
Probably a reason.
'Cause
So
nobody
after
wants to read
Witch
it.
Haven, what's the next book?
Slewfoot,
Bluefoot, right?
Bluefoot. Okay.
and that's a horror.
I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm. And Kristen will be co-hosting with that.
Okay.
Or joining
And
us.
who's doing the live show for next month?
Laura.
Okay.
Me.
Laura volunteered.
And we picked what date for that?
The 24th,
24th.
same
okay.
time.
Let me go get a pen so I write this down and I don't forget.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know about reading sprints. I know Kaylani volunteered to do a reading sprint, but I'm not sure when. TBD.
And so you said the 24th at what time?
8 EST. So
So 7 Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in East, right, Laura, in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Florida has that funky thing where like a tiny little part of it's in
A tiny little bit. Yeah. Nope, I'm not there.
So us three are Easters.
Mhm.
And Jackie's a Central. And Kaylani's away over there in Pacific.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I'm interested in this next one. Because it is.
I mean, you know, the first one, the Witch's Lament, was kind of a miss.
Mhm.
But this one was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm not regretting that I read it. So after discussing it, I think I'm probably going to keep it at a 4. So
Well, I think I'll keep it at a 4 too.
yeah, definitely want to pick up more by her for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I'm gonna try the Masters of Death one.
Yeah.
That one seems pretty good.
I've seen. What is it? Is it the Waterstones edition of that with the skulls on the spine? I really need to start pre-ordering Waterstone editions
Yeah.
because those are so nice.
I would love to too. It's just the shipping.
If
Yeah,
you order
Waterstone.
from Black, wait, that's right. It's not a Blackwell's edition. It's a Waterstone.
Yeah.
Never mind. I
And
was gonna say if you order
Waterstones
from
does have
Blackwell's, it's free
beautiful,
shipping, but they don't do
beautiful
that.
editions. Yeah.
I like the Empire of the Vampire Waterstones edition. I like that one.
The
I
U.S.
still
just
haven't read that.
they get on board with these.
You haven't
stuff.
read Empire of the Vampire yet?
Mm-mm.
Don't even
It's
get
a
started.
thick
So good. So good. It's a big
Yeah.
one. And the sequel comes out in March of next year. So it'll be a reread next year for me.
Yeah. See, I'd rather just wait until everything's out and then binge it.
Mhm.
I don't usually do that, but when it's like a huge book like that, I'm gonna have to keep rereading. I just wait.
That's all right. All right. Are we good to say goodbye since we're
Yep.
kind of getting off the topic? Okay.
We
So thank
are.
you everybody for joining us tonight. Our next show will be September 24th on Laura's channel.
Yep.
And we talk about
Yep.
The Witch Haven by who?
Sarah Peyton Smith.
Yeah, that book.
So, would love it if y'all could read along with us if you so want to.
Yep.
So,
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You have a safe night, and we will see you
Bye.
guys all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Don't
night.
go backstabbing anybody.